Hi, I'm Jordan with locums.com. Today, we're talking about federal government locum tenens assignments and dispelling some common myths around this work that persist in our industry. Federal government assignments might seem a little bit intimidating at first, especially to the uninitiated. Maybe you assume that every federal assignment comes with red tape, or mystery acronyms, or a badge you don't quite understand. But federal locum tenens work is often much more approachable than people think. Let's bust a few common myths. Alright, federal government locum tenens assignment myth number 1. You need a license in the exact state where that assignment is going to be based. Not always. For many federal assignments, providers may be able to work with more than one active unrestricted license from any U.S. state or territory, depending on the facility and the role. That can make federal work especially interesting for locum providers who want to explore assignments across the country without having to worry about getting a bunch of additional licensing requirements. So that is a major advantage. Myth number 2, federal locums always pay less. That is not necessarily the case. Some providers assume that government work automatically means lower pay, but federal locum tenens work roles still offer very competitive market-based pay, especially when the assignment is urgent, remote, hard to fill, or requires a very specific specialty. As always, the real number depends on role, schedule, location, specialty, call expectations, what's included for travel, housing, and expenses. Do not write off a federal assignment simply because it has government in the title. It doesn't necessarily mean it's automatically going to be lower pay. Oftentimes the conditions are even a little bit better, and many providers even prefer federal locum tenens work. Alright, number 3. Federal locums are only for physicians. Not true. Federal sites need all sorts of healthcare talent to support their needs on a daily basis. They need physicians, they need nurse practitioners, physician assistants, CRNAs, dentists, other health professionals. The exact needs, of course, depend on the facility, the role, the type, specialty, location, but federal locum tenens assignments are not limited to one provider type. Alright, myth number 4. Federal assignments are all basically the same. That is not true. A VA assignment is going to be very different from an Indian healthcare assignment. A rural clinic is going to be different from a larger federal medical center. A short-term coverage need is different from a longer, ongoing support need and access to care. Before you say yes, ask about the setting, the schedule, patient volume, support staff, call expectations, travel, the onboarding process. You need to ask these questions about every single locum tenens assignment, but do not assume that all federal assignments are essentially the same. They vary quite a bit between setting and location, and the scope of work that you'll be doing. Alright, number 5. The process is just too complicated to consider. This is just simply not the case. Federal assignments might involve 1 or 2 extra steps in terms of credentialing, but that does not mean they're impossible or even that much more complicated than your average locum tenens assignment application. You may need a little bit of extra credentialing, background checks, facility-specific onboarding, systems access, documentation, but again, you're going to be going through those same steps in a variety of locums assignments if they're federal or not. Uncle Sam may love a form, but a good recruiter should help you understand what is needed, when it's needed, and how to stay on track. So certainly not too complicated to manage. Alright, myth number 6. Federal locums are just another coverage shift. This may be the biggest myth. Federal locum tenens providers often help maintain access to care for veterans, military communities, tribal communities, rural populations, and other patients who already face coverage challenges and getting access to care. They're very, very important roles, and they fill a very, very critical and urgent need. So yes, it is a job opportunity, but it can be very, very meaningful work in places where temporary coverage makes a real, very, very real difference. So in conclusion, federal locum tenens assignments may not be for every provider, but they are definitely worth understanding. It can offer flexibility, meaningful patient care, a chance to work in settings many clinicians never experience in traditional roles. Before you rule it out, learn how it works. Ask the right questions. Compare that opportunity to others and see if it's going to be the right fit for you. Whatever you do, do not make the decision based on industry assumptions and myths. Again, my name is Jordan. I'm with locums.com. We are here to help your locums journey. Locums.com is where clinicians of all types can search locum tenens opportunities across agencies, manage their applications, build a CV, and even track all their assignments. Whether you're a clinician exploring locum tenens work or a locum recruiter looking to connect with more actively searching physicians, we are here to help. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. You can reach us at contactus@locums.com. We hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll look forward to talking to you next week. Bye.